And welcome back, baby. We got a special guest in the house.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We making noise. Hold on. We them boys. We them boys.
His name is it William?
Oh,
Is it Trey? Is it the third? What's your name? Hold on. Tatiana Campos. Hey.
nah, man, we're not doing that.
Oh, what's your name, big man?
Tre Ford, man. Tre Ford.
Trey Ford. Is that like William Ford the third? Is that be Trey?
Yes, William Ford the third, man.
William Ford the third. All right. Nice to see you, Trey. How you been?
Yes, I'm good, man. How y'all been?
Hey, man, we living life, man. You know, quarantine, man. Whew. Taking it day by day. Hey, can you see your man? Tell your man to show his head from the top. Tony Bennett. Tell Tony Bennett to show the top of his head.
I'm good, big man.
They got had a cut in about a month and a half. I can't see it, man. No, me either.
My man,
Yeah,
without the cut, as you can see on top of his head, it's like going away.
Get
That's
some
what I'm
glasses
trying to
up
see.
there.
Huh?
Get some glasses. That's it. I
Oh,
can't
okay.
see no more.
Hey, you look good with a beard, though, Tony.
Yeah, make me look older.
You look
Definitely,
good,
coach.
Yeah, you look like little Plumpsy. You good?
Here we go. Here we go.
All right. Hey, let's start. Let's break down this. What is it? What do they call it? 32. What is it? After
Round of 32.
So
what?
we were at 64. Now we're down to 32 guys from the Wakefield bracket.
Yeah, what do they call it after you lose the first round? I mean, second round. They
We
call
in
it
Start the round of 32.
Down to 32.
Oh, hey, look at this man. He getting all bold and shit. Around the 32.
Hey, well, you know, Tre Ford is the guy. He knows all the stuff that's happening, that's going on. In case y'all don't know, Tre Ford is assistant coach at Wakefield High School. Trey, how long you been there with us?
7 years.
7?
Yeah, I'm going on my 7th. Sorry.
7 years at Wakefield. Trey also played in the Northern Virginia area at Falls Church and Jeb Stewart. And after that, he went down to Virginia Wesleyan, was the point guard down there, some big-time basketball down at Virginia Wesleyan. Now Trey is also doing his own thing with Family Over Fame. We got to shout out Family Over Fame. Trey, what's happening with Family Over Fame?
Family of Faith. So I started up my own youth AAU organization for the kids. And right now we have a 6th grade program, a 6th grade team, 7th grade team, and a 9th grade team. And we're looking to expand, you know. We're just trying to be that premier AAU team in the Northern Virginia area.
You said
Sounds good.
You said premier AAU?
Yes, premier. Like we want to be able to compete with them top teams that's going out there and competing on the national level.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Respect that.
So what we got is we got a little insight on, you know, our brackets or whatever. We got myself and Coach Willis, and then Trey, who's also been with us at Wakefield, has coached a lot of these guys. Some of the guys Trey might not know. And some of the guys that we will be going over, Trey probably played against. So we're just going to get another insight with Coach Willis and ourselves to figure this round out to try to get all the way down to the Final Four. So
no, Sweet 16, baby. From
to get to
32
the
to go to the
Sweet
Sweet 16. Did I say that right, Trey?
Yes, sir.
Round of 32 to the Sweet 16.
all right. So
that's kind of like when my man went to the grocery store. $7.50. $7.50.
I got you. So we're gonna start off over in the East bracket, and Buck, if you can, just real quick,
I'm
just
gonna
pop
do
up
a refresher real quick, just so you know, so
refresh.
everybody can see the screen.
That's all. And we'll let you guys know which way we're going from there once we pull that East bracket up real quick, and then we'll get out of that. But starting off in the East bracket, we talked about the number 1 seed was Kenny James, and we'll start off with Kenny James is going up against Reggie Williams. And as Coach does that, just some brief highlights because we want to start to get into a little bit more some stats and things like that. And Coach got me on a time limit, so I won't be too long. But just real quick on Kenny James. Kenny James was on that 28-1 team that went all the way to the state tournament and lost in the semifinals. Real quick, let me put my brackets. Kenny James has 2 national district championships, 04 and 05, and he won the Northern Region Championship in 05. Kenny James was a National District Player of the Year. Well, Reggie Williams was a 3-year starter on varsity, and one of the things about Reggie is he did come to Wakefield and he took over after Kenny James graduated. So he was the next point guard for once Kenny graduated. Reggie did take his team in 2007 to the regional tournament and the state quarterfinals. Reggie scored 227 points and averaged 11.3 points a game.
What can Reggie Williams do to make him jump over Kenny James?
Nothing.
Nothing.
This is not even a question in my right mind that Reggie Williams was a better player than Kenny James.
So moving on, Kenny James moves on.
Absolutely.
Kenny James advanced to the next round.
Yes,
My
sir.
man KJ, yes sir.
Next up is Ermias Nega versus
My man,
Jared
can you
Watkins.
say it a little bit different besides nigga? Come on, my man, you can't keep saying that.
My fault.
Just say Ermias. Just say, how about just Ermias? Erm might be better than Ermias Naga.
All right, we'll go with Erm, as we talked about before, going up against Jared Watkins. Jared Watkins' name is probably a little bit more prevalent because he just graduated 2019. But Ermias Nega was on that, what year was that, Buck? 2013.
2013, class 2013.
Class 2013. Ermias played 1 year for us at Wakefield High School. So this way it could be a little bit problem because Jared was a guy who played 3 years. So we'll get into that.
You keep saying played 3 years. Jared had spot minutes his sophomore year. He had limited time his junior year. Okay. Now his senior year was his best year. So I would say him and Ermias played exactly 1 year apiece. So that's what you're basically going to base your stats on with Ermias and Jared.
Okay, so who am I defending? Am I defending Jared? Or am I defending
anybody you want? Well, I can break Jared down. Jared was all district. He was all region. First team all region. Okay. Was he a top scorer? No. Could he pass the ball? Could he handle the ball? Yes. He did different things. Okay. Now you're talking about Ermias. I'll let you talk about Ermias. Don't get me wrong. Jared was a hell of a player his senior year. Okay. Now the matchup versus Ermias, I'll let you talk about Ermias and we'll go from there.
Well, I think personally you're right. If you talk about their 1 year stats, basically, because you're right. Jared played 1 year. Ermias played one solid year for us and got us to the regional championship where we ended up losing. But he was first team. He was second team all region, first team all district, and first team all defensive team for us. But as far as numbers and stuff, I don't know if Jared even compares to that because Ermias scored 430 points and he averaged 13.9 points a game in that one season for us. Also doing a couple other things. Jared blocked a few shots. Ermias blocked 22 shots, took 15 charges. So you talking about defense, offense, things that he did.
Jared was a high flyer, baby.
He was definitely a high flyer.
You really want to know who Superman is? Watch this.
High flyer. I mean, Trey, what do you think? You coach Jared. What do you think could give Jared a good argument about this?
I mean, I think it gives him a good argument that Jared was first team all region and first team all district. So
let me break in right here real quick.
I know what you're gonna say.
You know what I'm gonna say. First team all region today.
Back then,
it's not the
first team all region.
Back
not
then.
even close.
In today's day, it's much easier to make first team all region. I'm not knocking what Jared did.
Right.
What I'm going by the ball play from the past to the present.
Correct, and I respect that. Yep, and I'm gonna go on that because I never got to see Ermias play in high school. I only got to see him play after high school, and I had the opportunity to train Jared on a daily basis. Now, Ermias got a lot with him in his game. He has a lot with him in his game.
He does.
So,
but we just have to focus on what they did at Wakefield because there was a lot of kids. Ermias is one kid who, when they left Wakefield, got way better.
Correct.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of tough for me to do that at Wakefield because all I have to go to compare on between Ermias and Jared is the accolades.
Right. I see it. I see your point.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna pick Jared because he was first team all region, first team all district. Ermias did play in a tougher era. Don't get me wrong, but
and if I had to go with the two and being able, coach both of them, if the needing one of them guys down the stretch in the different eras that they played in, my vote's going to Ermias. So, Buck, break this for us.
Oh man, hands down. You know, it's easy for me because I've seen both of them evolve from high school to college. And like I said, Jared is getting a lot better in his college days.
Right.
Erm's getting better. But if I had to go to war with one player that's going to take me to battle, and I got to battle with this guy, I'm going to go with Ermias Nega.
I agree. I agree.
And it is a tough decision because, like I said, Jared got a lot better his senior year.
Definitely.
He was definitely somebody we had to say, hey, Jared, this is your team, and you need to do what you need to do to get as far as we can go.
And Jared took his team, to the state final game. He was a junior that year, took his team there, and did some good things, for his team. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just think his stats and the things just balance
right
against him.
And like Trey said, the accolades were there for Jared.
Right.
Yep.
But like if I was to switch Jared and in the years they played, would be an all state.
It'd be first team all state.
First team all state.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a little bit what I'm basing it on as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
All right.
Good to go.
We
So
agree to disagree.
Yep. We're good to go.
Say, Jared put up a good fight.
Ermias Nega moves on.
Ooh, that's going to be an interesting matchup there. Number 1, number 5 seed.
1 and 5.
And let's move down to the East. 6-3 game. Andrew Allen, and Ben Horsford.
Andrew Allen, Ben Horsford, 2 guys that are similar. We talked off air about this. 2 guys that's similar. And again, it's going to come down to different eras. I think it's just the different eras. Andrew Allen was 2007 grad, and Ben Horsford was a 2018 grad. And
I believe Ben only actually started 1 year.
And played a lot his senior year. Junior year spot because he played behind Halil Parks. And, he didn't really get into games behind Halil Parks, except we were up big.
His senior year, as we say again, first team all district, first team all region. So, I mean, he has the accolades. So, like I say, but then you talk about Andrew, played with the big 3, could flat out get it done, offensively, defensively. Heart of a lion. Was it lions or a tiger?
Lions and tigers and bears.
Lion.
Lion. I said it right, Trey? I knew a young boy would know. Heart of a lion. Okay? He had, I think, I want to say, they were probably, as far as talented-wise, they both probably had the same amount of talent on their team, within their team. Right?
Maybe. Yeah. George Johnson, Ty Bill, Amari, Ben.
Oh, that's it?
Chris Warner was on that team.
Chris Warner, 3-headed monster.
Yeah. Not a bad.
But the question comes down to who you picking at the end of the day to go to war with in that situation.
Oh, shit. That's easy for me. Andre Allen.
Yes.
Andre Allen.
Yes. Andrew. Yes.
Andrew Allen.
Yeah. So if you're going with that based off of we talking about we about to go to the game, we going to the chip. Who you got? Who am I pulling up of my roster?
I know Andrew gonna give me 15, 16 points. Ben gonna give me 16 points, but Ben gonna give me 8, 9, 10 turnovers. Okay? And I can tell you, neither one of them gonna be a punk on the court, though. I give you that. Ben's not a punk on the court either. So give me Andrew.
Yeah, that's a good matchup. And I mean, at the end of the day, I know Trey didn't get a chance to coach Drew.
I got to watch him though.
Got to watch him. Drew was tough. He was the quiet assassin as far as when you talk about the big 3. You always talk about George and Ty, and Drew kind of got left back. But his senior year, he was he made the all-tournament team in the all Northern region, and then went and had a good tournament game in the state game. Ben, on the other hand, as well, took his team all the way to the final game and got hurt in that game that limited his performance. If you had to go with, between these 2 guys, body of work and who you going to go to war with, I think you said it earlier about they're probably going to both give you the same in scoring, but one might give you a little bit more turnovers here and there. So I think at the end of the day, my vote goes to 07 Andrew Allen.
Trey?
Andrew Allen.
My man. Let me go ahead and go quick here so we can get the chart up.
Moving
All
in.
right. And we said Andrew Allen advanced over Ben Horford. I mean, it wasn't easy, but that's a good matchup. You know, I would if let me say if Andrew didn't have shoulder surgery and both of them were home today, I would love to see them battle.
That would be a good one.
One-on-one.
Even at Andrew's age, I'm gonna go with Ben on that one.
We're gonna be gassed on the third possession.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ben on that one because Ben can run for days.
All right, let's move to the next game. 7-2 matchup. Two point guards.
Man, oh man.
Cal Fat Davis and my man Alan Treacle.
That's
This what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let Trey. I'm gonna let you talk about Kyle Davis because you were his mentor. Mentee.
And that was your first year, Trey, right?
first year.
Yeah, you mentored him. He everything you did. Oh yeah, Trey. I understand. You were having a point guard in college, and you were trying to get Kyle to the next level. Okay, and then Bentley, I'm gonna let you talk about Alex. Okay, in my mind right now, I have no clue because if I based on what Kyle Davis did for 1 year, and if he was there for 3 years,
Yep.
which way could it go?
Yep.
We always talk about, I know we say keep it real on this show, but you know my old saying, Buck, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. So we can't worry about if Kyle was there 3 years because he should have been there 4.
Not 2, not 3, 4.
So
I totally agree with you on that.
And he didn't come.
But
So-
I'm gonna let you go ahead and speak on the number 2 seed. Go ahead, Bentley.
And number 2, so you want to talk about Allen. Well,
Yeah.
Alan Trickle definitely was a breath of fresh air. I will say he did come in right after Cal Davis was our point guard, and Cal Davis came in and won us a regional championship. Then Alan Trickle comes in as a sophomore and just blows out the door any numbers that anybody has ever had at the point guard spot for us at Wakefield, numbers-wise. And that even includes the great Kenny James. Alan Trickle won 3 district championships. He never won a regional championship, but 3 district championships. His record alone was 71-11 at Wakefield.
That's
71-11. That's tough. He also scored over 1,000 points in his career at the point guard spot, which, you know, Wakefield, we like to have our point guards dish the ball. But he came in as an over 1,000-point scorer. In one season alone, his senior year, scored 462 points in the game, not only leading us in assists, and he broke the great Kenny James assist record that had lasted since 2005. So Alan Trinkle is our all-time assist leader with 347 assists in 3 years. And again, he played the same amount of years as Kenny James. Not only to mention that, he was the MVP of the George Long Holiday Hoops Tournament. He was the player of the year in the district. He was the first team all district every year he played except for sophomore year. Big numbers. He's also holds the record for scoring 41 points, the most points we've ever had any one player score for us in one game, which is Alan Trigger. So tough guard, competitive. You guys know in practice, couldn't stand to lose. He would always figure out a way that the ball went out of bounds. He did something. But this is a tough matchup for Cal because I speak very highly of Cal. I'm going to let Trey talk about Cal. But now Cal did his thing. But Trey,
let me look forward just a quick thing before I go to. So if Allen gets past this round and he happens to beat Andrew, now we're talking about an Allen Trickle Kenny James matchup.
That'd be really good. And
from all the information that you just gave me against the great Kenny James, and he broke all the great Kenny James records.
Absolutely. So it would definitely have to be coming down to that because in that way we have stats on Kenny James. I'll be able to tell Kenny James stats, and then we'll go from there. But, I mean,
wow.
Records are made to be broken, and they were broken by Alan Trickle.
Wow. Okay, Trey, go ahead and speak on your man KD, a.k.a. Fat.
Now, listen, this is a tough one in general, man.
Because you coach both of them.
I coached both of them, and they both are my guys.
Right.
Allen was something special, like, period. From the get-go, from when he stepped foot in the building. Now, Kyle was my first year at Wakefield, and Kyle was tough. Like, I'm saying he was tough on the court, but he was also tough, like, on the bench, coming out the game, tough off the court, like, but he led us and played his role on that team that was so talented where he wasn't needed to score like Alan Treacle was. So, and it took Kyle a long time to accept that role, but he accepted. And what he did for us to lead us into that regional championship game against a loaded Potomac team.
Loaded.
And I'm like, seriously.
Yeah.
And to win that game and the role he played defensively, especially that game, gives him a little bit in this fight, but it ain't much in this fight.
I mean, he averaged 5 points a game. He had 150 assists in one season. And like
Hey,
you said,
Buck,
I mean,
listen,
he had
you
players
know,
around him.
That Fat is my guy. Hey, Buck, we seen Treacle do some things for us, big man.
I can't even argue with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
KD, he went off to Frederick Junior College.
Yep.
He played a little ball there.
Yep.
Wound up finishing his career at
Ohio Valley.
Ohio Valley.
Yep.
You know, I believe he started 29 games out there.
Yep.
So
And he became a scorer in college.
right, he became a scorer, averaged 14 points a game out there.
Yep.
Okay. And
Yep.
Treacle's at where's
Mount
Treacle?
Olive.
Mount Olive. He's doing his
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
I mean, but we're talking about
Body of work at Wakefield.
Right.
Yep.
Body of work at
Yep.
Wakefield.
That's the key.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna go in this fight, I'm going Alan Treacle. I love Kyle to death. He gonna kill me for this one, but I've got to go Alan Treacle.
Bentley, who you got, Bentley?
He'd be all right. I love all my guys to death. You know I love Cal. KD is my guy. We talk every other day. And the same thing with Alan. Alan Treacle, we talk every other day. So these guys are my favorites. But at the end of the day, I'm going body of work and amount of years. Alan Treacle is my vote.
So it's already, so my vote don't even count. It's 2-0 already.
But who's your vote, though?
Hey, I don't have a vote because that means
Who's your
2-0
vote?
already. So
Hey,
I
you
don't
gotta
duck it.
vote. Nah,
I
don't duck it. Yeah, don't duck it.
And don't have
You
to worry
trying to
about
duck
Kyle
it so
Davis
Cal
calling.
don't get on you.
Hey, Kyle Davis calling me talking about I ain't.
Yeah, you need to make your vote, but who you vote?
Yeah.
Who you going with?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the point guard, baby.
Yeah, both of them point guards. Yeah.
Hey, honestly, now if we had, like I keep saying, if we had Kyle Davis for 3 years, yes, Kyle Davis would have been a hell of a player at Wakefield. But being that we only had him for 1 year, I got to go with Alan Treacle, hands down.
Yep.
So let's move Alan Treacle on over. That's an interesting matchup, 2-6 in the East. Alan Treacle versus Andrew Allen. And up top, Kenny James and Ermias Nega. Woo!
Final 8 in the East bracket.
Yes, sir. So let's head on down. Where you want to head to now?
West.
Let's head to the West. Let's
Down to the
keep on
West.
going down the left side of the bracket.
Yes,
You got your number 1 seed, George Johnson, versus Corey Aldridge.
Well, I think this is like earlier when you talked about Kenny James and Reggie Williams. I mean, it's really not an issue here. I have a half a page of information on George Johnson that I'll have to save probably for the next few rounds. But this round is not even close to me, and I'm going to let you guys talk. I will kind of defend Corey Aldridge a little bit. Corey Aldridge was, again, we talked about earlier, he was one of the guys who, a freshman on varsity at the time. There's only 3 guys that's ever done that, and since we've been coaching there. As his sophomore, if you look at his numbers, his sophomore year, he actually put up a lot of numbers. He put up 13 points a game as a sophomore and three rebounds. But then he took a step back his junior year, and he only averaged 7 points a game as a junior and 1.8 rebounds. So that right there but then he got himself back together senior and picked it back up and averaged 12.9 points a game and 4 rebounds. He made first team all conference or whatever, but I don't think as much that I can say on his paper that's going to get him past the great George Johnson.
Nah.
Nah.
I mean, hands down, I like Corey as a kid. I liked him as a basketball player. But like you said, I mean, there's no question in my mind George Johnson's going to move on.
Yeah, I mean, George Johnson was number 1 seed for a reason. I mean, so it's going to be tough. And I know, Trey, did you get a chance to play against Corey Aldridge?
Corey was a freshman when I was a senior.
Okay.
So you
right.
didn't play against him.
So
Right.
he played, yeah.
But you
But
did.
I played
you did
against
play
George Johnson my
Hey,
sophomore year.
Okay, well,
And
tell us a story about George Johnson. Do you got any stories about George?
Yeah, I got a nice quick one for y'all about George. So my sophomore year, I was like 5'5", Wakefield Canaan Falls Church. I ended that night with 17, right? So boom, we still lost by about 30 though. It's
That's what
all
I'm
right.
about to say. Don't
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
bull.
No.
Yeah,
We still lost
17.
by about 30. Yeah, but we go to Wakefield for the next game, and right when we coming out for the tip, George Johnson says, "Man, y'all better not let this little touch the ball." After that, I probably had 4 that game. Yeah, man. George Johnson was just special though, man. I don't think there'll be another George Johnson to come through Wakefield.
Definitely special.
Yeah.
Ooh, they got a fresh. No, I'm sorry. I'll talk about
Nah.
it later when you get there
Where?
at Wakefield.
The freshman is gonna be like George Johnson?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, what's his name?
I can't wait to see him.
Uh-huh.
DJ.
I thought he was swimming. I thought he was on the swim team.
Hey, indoor track. My bad. He running track. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and move George Johnson on.
All right.
Our next seed,
Oh,
Bill versus
Oh.
John Ford.
Hey.
Hey.
Mm.
Hey, this is a 4 or 5 matchup when you go, hey.
Man.
yeah.
That's
This one is this was pretty tough.
Yo, I mean, it's gonna come down to who you going to war with. That's what it's gonna come down to.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think that one plays in this one because you're gonna go to war with both of these guys.
Yeah.
They gonna both score for you in different ways. They gonna both defend for you. Ty's gonna defend out front for you. John's gonna get you, gonna block your shot, make you tough to shoot over. That's a tough one. So I mean, we start talking. Go ahead, Buck. You pick one. I pick the other one. We start looking at numbers and start reading a few things off.
Let's see. I mean, as a sophomore, he was on that team and he went to the regional championship game.
You talking about who?
John Ford.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What did he score? He scored 20, 10 to 12 games, over 20 a game.
You talking about his sophomore year?
His sophomore year.
Right.
He did this his sophomore year.
His sophomore year. Yeah,
Okay.
now, this is what we talk about right here. His senior year, 446 points. I mean, if you look at it now, that's not. I mean, that wasn't a lot back then. Now kids are scoring 600, 700.
That's because they just shooting threes all day long.
Stacking out. See, I mean,
Yeah.
but 446 points was a lot when you had a lot of players on your team. And I don't think John Ford had that. Senior year, he didn't have any.
Senior year, he had nobody, Buck. He gave us 32. Right? He gave us 32, game winner.
They played against him.
Right. So he was mainly by himself. So he did a lot. Okay. First team all district, second team all region. He was Arlington County's player of the year, John Ford. Okay. He's let's see, 8th on the list all-time rebounding, 8 on steals, 2nd all-time scoring averages. So the man can score with the best of them. Okay. So there's John Ford. Silky smooth.
6'6".
6'6".
Guard. Change the game for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
Ty Bill's got his work cut out.
Now and now so we go. I help Ty's case out a little bit, throw a couple numbers out there. Now those two guys did play together. John, like Coach said, John Ford was a sophomore and Ty was a senior. By now, Ty was a member of the Big Three. This was the second group of Big Three that we had, and Ty was a member of those guys. And so I'm just going to jump right to his senior year because his junior year he actually didn't start because he went away for Thanksgiving and didn't let me know and missed practice. So we took his starting spot away from him. He reminds me of that every day because he said he could have scored more points if he even started. But he went from his junior year averaging 11 points a game to his senior year, being the man averaging 16 points a game. And that's with George Johnson and Andrew Allen on his team, who did a lot of scoring as well, too. Ty Bill shot 35% from the three-point line while shooting 50% from the field. That's shooting 50% from the field for a guard.
That's impressive.
Who usually takes jump shots, but we know Ty Bill got to the bucket with the best of them and got you an and one all day long.
All day.
Listen, here's the big thing with Ty Bill. And you can talk about all the accolades he did, but this is how Ty Bill made sure his parents didn't have to pay for him his college. It wasn't until his last game of his high school basketball season where he really got recognition, we're playing in the state quarterfinal game, and we're down a lot at halftime, and Ty Bill only has 2 points. Andrew's playing okay, and George Johnson is hurt or whatever. Ty Bill proceeds to go out and scores 27 points in the second half to finish the game with 29 points. That game that played was unbelievable, and I'll never forget that. We ended up losing, but it was unbelievable. He was first team all-district and second team all-region, and he missed the all-region vote by 1 vote for first team all-region. He was all-tournament, regional tournament team, and right now he's 8th on the all-time list for three-pointers made at Wakefield. But again, we talk about the guys now shooting three-pointers more and more. These guys, Ty Bill and those guys were more team players. And Ty Bill went off, and like I talked about, went off and got a full scholarship to Augusta State where he played there. But tough as nails. And again, those two guys were in the same era, but I would say around John Ford's time was when that era started to change, when John Ford became a senior. Because Ty Bill, now again, both tough.
Hey,
I'll let Trey, see if Trey can talk real quick before I go my vote.
Hey, look, I like how you told that story. That was, Ty Bill scored 29 in the second half. We was down 30. Shit, he had no choice. They might have had their backups in. Listen, that's my story. You told your story, let me tell mine. Okay? That's the day we went down. Where we go to, who we play? GW Danville.
Danville.
And they told my man Jackie Moore, he looked like who?
Bobby Valentino.
Bobby Valentino.
Tough crowd, man. So again,
I knew we was going to lose that game when Jackie came to the sideline. Jackie said, man, I'm going to fight one of these kids.
And he said, I ain't really no assistant coach. I'll whoop your That was tough. And that helps me, Buck. That helps my story for Ty Bill, because if you scored 27 in the second half against that tough team and that tough crowd, you had to be tough. You had to be tough.
Oh, man.
But you're right. I mean, John Ford did some stuff for us, man, that we hadn't seen. We hadn't put anybody 6'6" like that at the point guard. And I think Trey was playing on that team at Stewart.
He gave us 32.
We played against you guys, and it was on
Game
TV.
of the week. Fox 5 game of the week.
And yeah, John Ford hit the game-winning bucket, and
time out real quick. How did Stewart make game of the week? Did Stewart vote for all the game of the week?
Hey, Buck, come on, man. You gotta give us a little credit. We was solid for them years.
Hey, you remember they had all them transfers, man? They were real good.
Y'all was really good. Y'all were really good. I can get that. Really good. Because I think you transferred from Falls Church to Stewart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going on that, and I think the theme of the show has been, who are you going to war with? I think y'all been saying that a lot. Who are you going to war with? And these are two kids I would definitely go to war with. But here's the deal. When you talk about dependability, I think John Ford's numbers and everything would have been so much better if he would have completed a full year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, John Ford was removed from the team a couple of times and was suspended a couple of times, where Ty Bill didn't have any issues or anything like that. And I knew we could depend on Ty Bill being there. Some games I didn't know if John Ford was going to be there or not. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that would be the only knock against John Ford. And we talked about it in a couple shows before, was when it was time for John Ford to be the man, he couldn't be the man. He was always really good when somebody else was the man. So that would be my knock, where Ty Bill played alongside George Johnson and coexisted with George Johnson. And it was Batman and Robin with those guys. So that's where I'm at with this. If I had to do it, man, listen, John Ford changed the game for me as a coach at Wakefield, and putting a guy like that at the point, and guy that can rebound and go coast to coast and can do all that stuff type. John Ford was a bad dude. But if I had to go to war with anybody, I think I'm going to go my vote with Ty Bill.
Give me.
You can't let Trey can't break this one.
Yeah, nah, I'm going.
Can't break this one.
Oh man,
I'm gonna go with Ty Bill. Give me Ty Bill.
And then Trey's gonna go John Ford, because as we know, that era, it's like these kids now, Buck, going with LeBron James over Michael Jordan. I get it, Trey. I get it.
Nah, but I got to see Ty coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ty was tough, and like you said, going to war, and dependability. I would say John Ford gave us that 32 that one game, but then we came to Wakefield the next game, and he was throwing his headband in the crowd at the referees and stuff.
And cost us a regional game because he couldn't play in the region because he got ejected.
Yep.
Whack, get out.
That was against y'all, wasn't it?
That was against us. Yes.
Okay, well,
So,
Ty Bill,
so
you have
it's gonna
my
go.
vote.
I'm gonna go to
Ty
Ty
Bill
Bill. I'm gonna
moves
go
on.
with Ty Bill too.
Ty Bill moves on.
Oh, let's go down to it. This is an interesting one right here. 6-3 game. Marquay Walton versus Chris Warner.
It's a good one. Trey, you get to have some input on this because you coach both kids too.
Yes, sir.
It's a good one on a piece of paper.
Yes.
Like on
Very
the screen
good on a
that we
piece of
just saw.
paper. Yeah.
I mean, I can't deny it. How that song go? You can't deny it. I don't want to fight it.
I can't deny it. I'm a rider. You don't wanna with me. Yeah.
Chris Warner was a bad boy, and numbers don't lie.
For sure.
Marquay hit big shots, yes. Marquay was part of the big three. I understand.
Yep.
But when I keep looking at this stat sheet, I can't keep looking at it without seeing Chris Warner.
Yep.
Chris Warner, Chris Warner, Chris Warner.
So when you talk about that real quick, Coach, on our all-time tops, Chris Warner is 6th on the all-time scoring list. He's 7th on the all-time rebounding list. He's 5th on the all-time assist list. He's 7th on the all-time steals list, and 2nd on the all-time three-pointers made list out of 8 of our top categories.
Jeez.
I mean, I love Marquay. I love Marquay. Like a father on the weekends. I'm his daddy on the weekends. But give me Chris Warner. And I don't want to say it in a bad way. I'm going to say it in a good way. By a landslide.
Marquay gonna call you from Texas. He's gonna kill you, boy. So,
man.
And look, I'll just say a couple of numbers, and we'll let Trey speak on each player in what they did. But Marquay is 9th on the all-time scoring list, 7th on the all-time assist list, and he's 1st on the all-time threes made list. Again, he played with and listen, Marquay was 73-13 in his career at Wakefield. So his teams won some games and they won championships. But here we go.
Marquay played 2 years.
Championships. Chris Warner won 3 district championships.
Marquay played 2 years.
Chris Warner played 4.
Or was it 1.5?
Say that again.
Marquay played 1.5 years. Actually played his senior year and in limited minutes his junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Marquay played his junior and senior year. Sophomore year, he didn't play much. So that was when he first came in. Remember we talked about it, he didn't even start or whatever.
No, but he had limited role his junior year. That's when Corey Moore was there, right?
No, it was their sophomore year.
Okay.
Marquay's junior and senior year was a fixture.
Okay.
He was one of our guys. Yeah, it was him. Because Corey had graduated.
I'm getting old, my man. Sometimes
Corey had graduated.
I don't, my man.
Yeah, they graduated. So yeah, that junior senior year. But now Chris Warner, who 4 years didn't play much as a freshman, a little spot minutes, then turned it on as a sophomore, junior, and senior. Right.
Senior year.
And not only all of his, he's first team all region. Yeah. All of that stuff as well. So we talked about it being watered down a little bit, but take away nothing for he was that. But if we go about, and I think body of work. Now, who you going to war with? Give me Marquay.
Oh, going to war, no question about it.
Give me Marquay. We're going to war between these two. Give me
Just
Marquay.
By him being loud and intimidating.
Give me Marquay. And then you had to guard him, when he got off the bus.
Right.
Yes.
You talk about skills and the body of work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And Trey, real quick, give you a quick something on both of them or whatever.
Yeah, I coached both of them, and Marquay was in the beginning of my years coaching with y'all, and he was definitely one of our best shooters since I've been there, easily. And he played with the Damo in that regional championship team. But Chris Warner came to us as a freshman, and he could flat out score it. It might be ugly. We don't know how he did it, but he put the ball in the basket. Like, it was some games, me and Buck telling that's a terrible shot, but it falls.
You're right.
And that's just the type of player he was. And like you said, all them categories, he's top 10 in all of them. So that's, like Buck said, by a landslide.
Landslide. My vote's Chris Warner. Chris Warner as well, too. So Buck, put him up there.
All right. So Chris Warner will advance over Marquay Warner. Here we go. Number 2 versus number 7. Corey Moore versus Thomas Taylor.
So I'll pick back up with the theme of the show that we started this. we started off the show like this. I guess we're gonna end this bracket like this. This is not even close. I have 2 sentences for Thomas Taylor, and I've got a half a page for Corey Moore as far as the things that they did.
Damn!
Now, take nothing away from Thomas Taylor. Thomas Taylor was a hell of a player for us in that time. That was the years, Thomas played for us from like 09 to 11, where we probably won 14 games in those 2 years or whatever it may be, and we were struggling. And Thomas just happened to be on a team that we were struggling. But this is we can save some tape because he's no match for Corey Moore.
Yeah.
No
match for Corey
I beg
Moore.
to differ.
Ain't no way.
Differ?
I beg to differ.
Let's hear
hear
this. I want to hear this argument.
I mean, I don't want to argue. I just want to talk about Corey.
we can save Corey for the next round because he gonna need a little bit to go to Chris Warner.
Ooh.
For sure.
I'm
For
just saying.
sure.
We just talked about Chris Warner, all these stats. He's going up against the great Corey Moore.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's another subject. So, but hold on. So what you're telling me is you already moved Corey past Thomas.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and use the powers to be to just move Corey Moore.
Easily, Buck. Easily.
There's no fight.
No fight.
Bring an end to opponents in quick fashion. And Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Wait, what?
I cannot believe this.
I've never seen this before.
He walked out of the ring.
He's not fighting this guy.
He walked out of the ring.
I've never seen this before in my life.
I played against Thomas.
Thomas, we talk about going to war with and body of work. I'm going to war with Corey Moore, body of work Corey Moore. So yeah, I love you, Thomas. Thank you, but no.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and squeeze Corey. Isn't Corey your Diedrich's brother? That makes him your godson brother or something?
That's family. But I can tell you right now, ain't got nothing to do with no blood on this list. This fool is moving on.
Okay, let's just scroll back up to the east real quick so we can talk about the left side of the brackets.
Yes, sir.
We got Kenny James versus Ernie Snedker.
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty good matchup.
Yep.
Andrew Allen, Alan Treacle. Down on the west side, you have the number 1 seed, George Johnson versus Ty Bill.
Going up against his big 3 partner.
And at the bottom, a 2-3 seed, Corey Moore versus Chris Warner.
Not bad. Not bad.
That's a tough bracket.
Hey, that's a tough left side of the bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 2 minutes. Oh, no, let me get upset. Not 2 minutes because that's somebody else who do that stuff. We're going to take a quick 2, 2, 2, and 2. For y'all don't know what that means, it takes Bentley 2 days to edit it, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 seconds before we get back on tape. So, I mean, I know y'all be sitting out there talking about, man, where the show's at? Man, I be saying the same thing. I did this recording 4 months ago.
I wish we could put them out that fast.
All right. So, but when we come back, we're going to jump right over to is that the Midwest or is that the South?
South, and then we'll work our way down to the
South,
Midwest.
and then we're going to go right down to the Midwest.
Yep.
All right.
We done